Please welcome Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Great to see you again, Con. Great to see you.
How are you?
Very well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, we were trying to find Maria.
We were looking for Maria, yes.
We found Maria.
We found Maria.
Now we're finding Dorothy.
That's right.
Both iconic in their own way.
They are. Very different.
Different challenges in finding one?
Yeah, I think with Dorothy, of course, she's got to be absolutely adorable. Right. But she's got to be a bit feisty. I mean, she wanted to get out of Kansas, didn't she? So, yes. And you've got to get that feeling from the girl that she wants to kind of get out and see the world. And then, of course, what happens to her is a voyage of discovery, isn't it?
How much do you take into account the audience's relationship with the movie character?
For our Dorothy, she's got to be really young, and she's got to be, as I said, adorable. But I think most of all, she's got to have guts.
And she has to be able to act as well.
Yes, she sure does. But it's the thing that gives me a buzz, because let's face it, I don't need to do this.
You're okay.
Yeah, I think I can just about get by without it. It's just be working with the kids and getting something out of them. I mean, when the 20 girls arrived down in Barbados this time, they were sort of fairly. I would say it's a little bit of the stage school had been drilled into them. Really? We stripped it all out. You have to try and strip the veneer off these kids, and get them down to what they really, really are themselves.
How old were you when you first, really connected with Wizard?
With Wizard?
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm a late convert to The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. I obviously knew the songs, but I didn't know the movie that well till about 10 years ago.
It's often remembered so fondly by those who loved it. So when you came into it with sort of fresh eyes and fresh ears, what were your thoughts?
Well, I think the main thing I felt we had to do was to go back to more like the ending of the book. Yeah. Because in the film, of course, she's knocked on the head and unconscious, and the whole thing's a dream. Well, the point about the book is that it wasn't.
Right.
So we've gone back to that.
To the original.
Gone back to the original ending, yeah. I don't think we are looking for an imitation Judy Garland. You know, I saw what I think was the last performance she ever did at a place called the Talk of the Town in London, and she was late. And I mean, like an hour and a half late.
So like Guns N' Roses late.
Yeah. I mean, really. But people were sort of throwing things on the stage, and this broken woman came on, and she tried to do Over the Rainbow, and she couldn't do it. And you know, do you know that's what gave me the idea of how to do Evita?
Really?
Because I was always very worried about the idea of... I couldn't get my head around the story of Eva Peron at all when Tim Rice suggested it. And then I suddenly thought, what if I gave her an anthem, which became Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, that then turned on her, like Garland. You know, and dramatically, that's what kicked it off, just that one... I remember seeing that one thing.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, and just not able to... And the song literally bit her. Yeah. Turned round on her and tried to swallow her up.
So when you're working with kids now, these young performers...
I don't tell them that.
You leave that part out. But this business can crush a young person if they do well and they're not properly coached and for various other reasons.
If you don't look after yourself, right, it can absolutely tear you to pieces.
Well, if you're young and you don't have people looking after you.
Yeah.
Do you take responsibility in some respect for that?
Well, in the terms of the kids here, and these shows, well, certainly when the TV shows are on, yes, but of course once they're you know, on their careers, you know, you've got to let them go. Right.
Phantom was obviously a huge success for you. It was a big part of what happened in Canada. Is it true that Michael Jackson used to come hang around?
He could have easily been the Phantom, I think. It would have been a very different, would have been a very interesting, very different take on it. And I suspect he had a very, very good voice. I suspect he would have sung it very well.
A family, your own family. You have 5 kids?
Yeah.
You battled with some health issues of late. Did it put your family in a different perspective?
Well, not really, because I had prostate cancer, and prostate cancer at a very early stage is a pretty easy thing to eradicate. Right. So I kept just thinking, what a bore this is. I'm taking him away from rehearsals. But I thought I'd get on with it. You know, I thought it was rather matter-of-fact about it.
So you're a man who has a lot of financial wherewithal.
Yeah.
But I heard you say you're not going to give it to your kids.
Yes, I'm not.
But how do your kids feel when they hear that?
Well, I think they rather realise that. I mean, what I'm talking about, they'd like to make it themselves. My oldest son, by my second marriage, is a young A&R man at Island Records now, so he's very, very hip and trendy and everything. And he's making his own way, you know, and he's writing his own music. That's what he wants to do. And I don't think he really wants me to be around helping him.
You've written letters and you've allowed your song to be used for conservatives. Conservatives are the first ones that get rid of funding to arts.
Yeah.
How do you work those two?
Although I do take the Conservative side, you don't have to support the government. and I certainly have not. It's disgraceful because every penny that goes into any kind of creative industry, I mean, performing arts, visual arts, and this, that, and the other, comes back to the government 10 times over.
Anthropology. You and Tim Rice are on a flight, and the pilot gets sick. Which one of you lands the plane?
Tim.
Okay. Do you burn bridges or blow them up?
Probably blow them up.
Yeah. Do you ever have to go back and repair them?
If I've blown one up, I don't go back.
Elvis Presley recorded a song of yours, right? It's easy for you?
Yes.
You know?
It's the last song he did.
That's unbelievable.
So I killed him.
Sir Andrew Lloyd. Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber.